Hey kids, it's Dr. Rones with section 2 of chapter 5. We are going to write equations when we know the slope and 1 point, but not the other one. We're using partial information to write an equation. Now this is definitely new stuff, so this is exciting, refreshing to challenge your brains again. Also, just kind of a heads up, 5.2 and 5.3 very much so go together. So as we go through the format of these notes, we will be following the same exact structure in the 5.3 notes. So basically the way that we're going to work through this is we are going to draw out one long example down the whole front of the page here. So this whole front is going to be just one equation, and then we're going to do it more quickly on the back side, because of course you're not going to use a whole page for a math problem, but for the first stab at this, it's good to piece it all the way out. So, all right, this is our primary question here. What is the equation of a line when the slope is -2 and it passes through this point 6, -3? It's not saying that that's the intercept. It's saying that the slope has a -2. We can even visualize it. We don't have to solve this, but it's going to be a negative slope, and it goes through 6, -3. I'm totally just guessing here, and so it's going to look something like, and I missed, something like that, right? 6, -3. Yep, a slope of -2. Okay. Now, could you graph this? Could you make a point here and count the slope? Yeah. And then write an equation that way? Yeah. But do you always have a coordinate plane in your back pocket? No. There's an easier way. So let's just do this piece by piece here. So slope-intercept form, of course, is y equals mx plus b. Breaking it down all the way down to the basics. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept, of course. Okay. Good. Okay, step it up. So what do we already know? M is -2. And we have this point 6 and -3. Okay. Remember that a coordinate is made up of an x and y value, right? X comes first, then the y. So if that's the case, in this equation, at this particular point, x is 6 and y is -3. There's lots and lots of other points, but this is just the one that we know, so we're going to use those two parts of the one equation. Okay, now, anytime you have an equation where you have all the parts except for one, you can solve out for the rest. So, we just said that y in this case is -3 equals m is given to us at the start, which is -2. X was 6 plus b. Write that down, but then take a second. Make sure you understand where I got all that information. This is one of those lessons where it's really easy to write stuff down and not think. So here's the y equals m x plus b. So basically we're using the information that we have to find the intercept. So I strongly recommend that when you sub numbers in for variables, you use parentheses. This is a good skill or a good habit to get into. That's these things, right? Okay, so we can solve out. -3 is -12 plus b. Add 12 to each side. You don't need to show all your work if you don't need to. Some of us do. So b is 9. Okay, so now we have all the information that we need. So y equals, what was our slope? Well, they gave it to us from the start, -2x, and now we have our b, which is a +9. So when you're rewriting an equation in slope-intercept form, don't sub in, like this would not be -3 equals -2 times 6 plus 9. You used this coordinate to get this, but once you have solved for your b, these go back to y and x. So this is what you want, right? Once you use the point for what you needed, then you kind of disregard the point. And so this is our equation. And does it make sense with kind of our thought? Negative 2x plus 9 could be an intercept of 9, positive 9. Yeah, slope of negative 2. Cool. All right, take a second, let that sink in. I don't know that it's hard, it's just, a new thing. Okay, so now I would like for you to try to write an equation yourself when slope is negative 4 and it includes this point 5 and 2. If you think you can, hit pause and just see what you can do. You might not be able to do all of it, but you might be able to do some of it. And so give it a pause, hit play again, and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so our slope is negative 4. Right? Slope. Here's x and y. So 5 and 2. Does that help you? Do you need to pause again? So instead of y, we're using 2. M is negative 4. X is 5 plus b. 2 equals negative 20 plus b. Looks like b is going to be 22. Okay, so knowing that, then our equation is going to be using this and this. Y equals negative 4x plus 22. Don't be afraid of intercepts that are large. There you go. Okay, great. Okay, you want to do something a little bit more difficult? It's going to be great. Okay. So next, we do have enough information to solve this. We just have to consider it in a different way. It says, what is the equation of a line that includes point 0, 2, so x and y, and runs parallel to the line y equals 3x minus 1. So what that means is, if you want to kind of visualize it, there's, let's see, 0, 2 is one line. The other one is negative 1 and a slope of 3-ish. So they want to know what's this line here that runs parallel. That's what you're trying to do. I think you guys can actually know what you're doing and not just like doing it abstractly. Okay, here's the key part. Parallel lines have same slope. Same slope. So if this line has a slope of 3, then this line must also have a slope of 3. Here's the 0 and 2 for x and y, and now it's just the same. Calculate it out. I'll do me, you do you. When you're done, you can see if we agree. Ooh, what happens with that? Yeah. So did you get y equals 3x plus 2? Good. Does it seem logical? There's the 2. Same slope, 3x. Good. Good. All right. Well, try the next one. Same thing. Write an equation of a line that includes point 32. So that would be 32-ish. And runs parallel to this other line. It's an intercept 2. So you want another one, kind of like that. All right. So again, parallel lines have same slope. So this is not the line, this equation is not the equation of the line that we want, but we're going to steal its slope. So this is the given line. This is the one that we're finding, that they have the same slope. Okay, x and y, 3 and 2. Now we just plug in to find the b. 2 is 4 3s plus b. And it's going to be negative 10, right? I shouldn't math and talk at the same time. That's how I make mistakes. Okay, so all that to say, y equals 4x minus 10. Does it seem logical? Yeah, this intercept would be clear down here. 4x, yeah. Great. Okay. Great. You know what would be good for you? Some practice. Yay! Practice is my favorite. Do you think I could find it? Here it is. You can't see, but I have like 42,000 papers here. So. Okay, so this says, write an equation of the line that passes through the point and has the given slope. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. So this is just following the same process that we used in our notes. Hold on a second. Of course, I don't have a piece of scratch paper. I give up on finding one. I'll just use the margin. So let's say we're doing number 3. So y equals mx plus b. Truly, though, if you show all your, you think you should show all your steps to start with. So I think for the first time through, you should really consider writing out your work. 7 equals b, or b equals 7. You don't have to show all those steps if you don't need to. So knowing that, your equation would be y equals -5 x plus 7. The -5 came from here. That's the intercept. So all this would be on your lined paper. This is what's on the worksheet. Okay. For here, this is write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. This is just like what we did in the previous section. What it's asking you to do is to use this point and to count out the slope, so up to right 1, and follow this same process here. But in my world, that's really silly. Like, why go through all of that if you can just say y equals 2 over 1 is 2x plus 1. I don't need for you to go through that whole process. That's silly to me. So this will be just more practice for you in writing an equation off of a graph. If you really want to go through all that because you like math, then that's totally fine. I can respect that, but you don't have to do all that. All right, for this next section, write an equation of the line that's parallel to the given line, passes through the point. So remember, parallel lines have same slope. So x and y. Here's your m, and you'll use those to solve for b. And then you'll rewrite your equation on the front. So you'll have y equals 3x, and you'll have to tell me what goes at the end. Okay? Okay. The bottom ones are good, but I would rather save those for class. Don't want to give away the answers before I get a chance to talk about them in class. So we'll save those for when we are together. So as always, please do not hesitate to email me. You know these lessons aren't perfect, but I do my best. Oh, I misspelled Rochelle. That's a C. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a bunch, and I'll catch you in class. Bye.